Our community leaders can struggle to know the real needs and the wants of our overall community. It can be like sifting wheat from the chaff. There are often strong lobbyists, historical sways, differing political agendas, and anecdotal cries from the community, all of which our community leaders have to sift and decipher whilst debating and deliberating decisions over direction and over budget allocation. To one extent or another, this is the plight of all communities, and indeed most businesses. The GMs and CEOs in the room of successful businesses have their own internal politics and hearsay issues to deal with and deliberate upon while doing their own planning, their budgeting and their strategic thinking around future direction. So how do they do this? Are these high-level decisions done simply by listening to their mates or the loudest and most convincing lobby group? Successful businesses and their leaders, successful councils and their elected representatives do something else. They have something else available to them which provides a basis for comparison without emotion, a bottom line that cuts to the chase amongst the mealy and the fray. That something is called the facts. I call it hard data, some may call it evidence. What it is real-time, grassroots information about their businesses, about their city, about their customers, about the people they represent. That is indisputable. Without facts, without up-to-date information, you and I simply cannot know what the base is that we're working from. Meaningful, evidence-based, integrated planning is a prerequisite for meaningful outcomes, and it is what's required in today's business world. And it's about the business of LismoreCity that I'm talking about today, about creating an environment where business can prosper, where business does the business, where council provides enabling boundaries and at the same time covers their duty of care in protecting our community asset. Business is our primary economic driver in Lismore. Primary means number one. But guess what? There's no bank of data. There are no hard facts about who these businesses are in Lismore, about what they do in Lismore, how they do it, and where they see themselves headed. If one of Council's main roles and desires is to provide an environment for business to prosper and to grow, it must have this vital base information. It's this bank of knowledge that is our key data set that once we have it will allow meaningful planning to occur. My job is Business Facilitator, Sustainable Development, Lismore City Council. Last year, Lismore City Council began a restructuring and made almost wholesale changes in its planning area. Hard decisions were taken and they're now being carried out. Why? Because things weren't working for our business community and our business people. Council listened, sought independent factual advice, and have acted on that advice. In the next 6 to 12 months, if you haven't got a whiff of it already, subject to the Trade New South Wales state planning laws, of course, you'll see that Lismore City Council means business. Decisions have been taken to specifically and primarily create an enabling playing field to do business in Lismore City. Now, this is a big job. In the short time that I've been privileged to do this business facilitation role, I've encountered cynicism, mistrust, apathy, disengagement from one another, and a disconnect between council and business. The Business Retention and Expansion Survey, the BRE, is a bridge which I hope will start to be made to fill that gap. The BRE is just the start of a much wider project designed to set the stage, to set the groundwork and the foundations for a sustainable economic development strategy for LismoreCity local government area out to 2030. We have Susie Colson and Craig Jenkins here today from the Department of Industry and Investment, and they will attest to the fact that where this survey has been done in earnest by the business community, by the council and by their strategic partners, whole communities have been revitalised off the back of it. This initiative is about community engagement at a grassroots level. We have a business community made up almost wholly of small and micro businesses. Our businesses should be our key economic driver. What would happen if this survey identified businesses and key cluster groups that were able to achieve buying advantage, cooperative workings, productivity gains, all off the back of this survey? What if further funding and grants monies could be identified and substantiated, applied for and approved? What might happen if we all knew what other businesses were in this city, in the entire LGA, and we all did more business to business locally, just because we were better informed? But what would happen if every business over the next year or two moved to need another half or one full-time employee? That's real jobs. Real jobs here in this city, real jobs for our children. At half a full-time employee per business, that would actually be in excess of 1,500 new jobs here. And that is real productivity gain, and that's real sustainable development, and based on others' past experiences, that's a real possibility. There's much to be done, there's much that can be done, but it needs to be done. It's about working together on the business of Lismore, not in it. It's called the beginning of master planning. Thank you.